Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Where's My Written podcast. But first of all, I'd like to say, hey Shae, let's say hello to you, Shae, first Shae. Hello. How are you doing? You good, yeah?
I'm excellent.
Good. Sorry, I haven't skipped past you, but because I'm so excited that we have a new guest. We have Linda Albert today. We want Linda in the house.
Thanks for inviting me, guys.
No, it's good to have you. We've been talking about it for ages. Linda's a good friend of mine.
You have friends?
You know what? I told you, everyone I bring on each week is someone to replace you with. So I'm just taking notes and see who people like more. Yeah?
I wish you would.
Dash you off the show, you know.
I wish you would.
Bam.
Get it done.
Don't call buff, you know. Listen, I know it was black and black vibes. It's meant to be united in any difficult times. We may want to cuss you out still, but it's okay. Let's go back to positivity. So I've brought Linda here for a specific reason. One, because she's hella funny, and also, but she's got a lot of intelligent opinions. And actually, I want to kind of talk to her a little bit about a few things. And in fact, you know what? I have two queens here with me today. You know, first of all, two queens. First of all, rocking little ponytails and little big earrings. I'm feeling it, ladies. I'm feeling it. That 90s R&B swag. You know, come on. Different shades of chocolate. I'm loving it. But on a real, I'm on a real. You guys are doing some inspirational things. I kind of want to start off with obviously Linda first, but you're both doing inspirational things. But first of all, Linda, the reasons I invited you on because I've known you we worked together for 3-4 years now, with more than that.
Yeah, it's been a while now.
Yeah, and I'm going to shut up and let you talk in a minute, but you have actually, in that time we worked together. I'll let you say what you do, but then you've had to transition to starting a new business. Like, talk to me about that journey. Like, maybe explain to people what you do, and I'll let you talk.
Do you know what? It's mad actually because I remember having a conversation with you about it, and I was saying, Dwayne, do you know what? I think I'm going to start my own business. Although I had spoken about it to my other friends maybe like years before, and it was huge procrastination. And I think speaking to you and a couple of other people was just like, just do it. Heart beating. And I had this idea 9 years ago to start a natural skincare line and to try and find like really good natural products that I could just put into one product and not have women have, you know, this suitcase that we have of our makeup and cosmetic bags. We could just have one good product. So I spoke to a graphic designer friend of mine, and he was like, yeah, I'll do your labels, I'll do your this. I was like, oh, okay. And then he came back to me like a week later, and he had like 100 different versions of an idea that I'd given him for a logo. And I was like, shoot, this because this now means that I actually have to do something. Like I actually so I was like, oh, okay. I hadn't done like not a recipe, nothing. I hadn't done anything. It was literally still all in my head, and I'd done like one dead course.
So was that idea always started from scratch? Yeah, just make it from make it from base from step one to step whatever, right?
Yeah, because you can buy like base creams and base products where you can just add your own spin to it. But I didn't want that. I wanted to know exactly what's in it. Also, I've got a number of family members who have skin ailments. And I don't remember growing up with these things. Maybe it's naivety, but then when I think about it, I'm the youngest of 8, and none of us have got any skin conditions, no dermatitis, no eczema, nothing like that. But the little ones coming up in the family started to have it. And I was thinking, like, is that because of what we're using? And I know my mum was very into like natural stuff, although she did kind of segue to the astral, but that was just
everyone knows about astral, innit? Them things.
8 kids, what am I going to slap on them quick? That was the creaming in our house.
Standard. Before church, boy, that was there. The face. Yeah.
So then, I just decided to make. I wanted something that would be all-encompassing, that you could use, that wasn't really expensive, wasn't too cheap, had good quality products, and that you could create a little oasis at home. So there's a body butter, there's a scrub, there's a candle, there's a bath bomb, there's also stuff for your feet. So there's a foot scrub, a foot balm, foot butter, and for occasions I've done like I've done wedding favors for people, so like personalized cream tubs or personalized candles. I've done baby showers, but I've been up and running. This June will be 3 years. And
what's the name of the company again?
It is. Wait a minute.
Go for it.
No, I just got the shower.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? You got a new that's new branding because remember the tin used to be black, right?
No, the tin before. I remember I was gonna have a black tin. Remember?
Yeah, or gold or something. Right?
This is a new label and a new tin. So these tins were gold before. So it's Bespoke Beauty Organics. Same name on Instagram. Same name on
That's it. There, yeah.
Who did that?
Me. You know, I don't have to plug the thing properly, and that's a little was it a Mother's Day package?
Thank you.
Yeah,
previously started off as like gold cans and what have you, but we just continuing as well to play with bits and pieces. As well, like lots of people initially when I started was like, why don't you have a website? I was like, I don't even know the exact end look at the moment. So it's been a step by step, and lockdown really pushed me. Lockdown was just like, right, what do you do? Because prior to this, I was just building up my clientele, going to loads of stall events. I did Portobello, I did Spitalfields, I did loads of black events as well, and was getting, you know, lots of clients, was getting recurring clients. And then lockdown came and it was just like, right, so now what do you do? And it was like, okay, website. And then I got the website and it was Instagram and push. And lockdown's almost a year old now, so still standing.
Yeah, you're doing it. You know, and first of all, like I have actually personally bought the bath bombs actually, but this is one of them now. Listen, I've had them for a little. I've actually used one myself, but I'm hoping for next time I use them to have some company. So, DMs or comments please in the video. But literally these things, woo, smell like heaven. You know, they smell great, and I think Linda is right. Yeah, they actually have it's purely natural ingredients, and it's good. Listen, look at her skin. Zoom in, look at Linda's skin right now. Yeah,
glowing.
Listen,
Glowing.
come on. 100% cocoa, yeah. Come on.
Beautiful.
Listen, I'm just saying. I was just saying, people. You know, if you want to get to know. So, all I was no, but honestly, but these are actually good products. I'm not just saying it because you're my friend. Actually, they smell wonderful. They're very natural. And they're very. You're doing really well, Linda.
And I'm on the website, and it looks really good.
Oh, you're on the
I am.
Okay.
I'm on both. So I just gave you a follow, and I'm on your website.
I want to put this up again. Yeah, Bespoke Beauty Organics. Make sure you check out, make sure you follow it out. And listen, she does little videos as well that kind of shows the process of how she like puts them together. There's a couple really cute ones with your little one. Not to make like
I just landed on
that's
right. It's so cute.
So it's just so that's Linda, man. Hopefully wishing you more success because even see your stunner branch in the whole bespoke beauty events. That ones as well. I see that.
As well. We were just before lockdown. We had just started our first event, which would have been under bespoke events. And we had rented a space to run an indoor market in West London, and lockdown came. And
I remember. Yeah.
But you know what? It's coming back. I'm thinking, you know, was I thinking virtual market or whatever? But I'm busy as well. As you know, like I started my part-time degree as a social apprenticeship as well. And it is a lot. Like sometimes I think, am I doing the right thing? A lot of the time lately, I think am I doing the right thing because I don't have any free time. And any free time I do have, I do want to split it between my own sanity and my daughter.
Of course, yeah.
But you know, sometimes I'm just like, what am I doing? Like, why am I punishing myself like this? But I think for me, a number of reasons without getting too deep. I think I fell asleep on myself for a number of years. I did this. I coasted. I'm all right. I've got a flat. I've got a car. I've got a job. I'm all right. But then I feel like, and a lot of other things kind of happened, but I feel like there came a time where I was just like, hold on a minute. This is not enough. It's not enough. I don't feel satisfied with myself. I don't feel like I am setting the best example for my daughter. I wasn't setting her a bad example. Obviously, I'm not sitting in my house hitting them up, but that could be all right for some people. But for me, it wasn't enough. So I just kind of thought to myself, right, what do I want to do? I want to be somebody who can control my own destiny in time. I'm hoping that the business will be big enough that I might never use this second degree, you know, but if I have to, then I will. I've got a plan A, B, C, because you just don't know in life what's going to happen. You know, I initially started as a learning mentor. Who even hears of learning mentors nowadays? That role just doesn't exist. And you have to keep, as an individual, you have to keep rolling. Even if you are in a business that is stable, you know, you have to think, how do I get myself up to the next level, So for work wise, I was like, okay, what do I need to do to reach the next band in, to become a manager? I need to go back to university. I tried various routes, but when this came up via work, I was like, this is a no-brainer. It's a free course. If somebody's paying me to go to university, I'm going. I don't even care how much I hate the books. I'm going. Like, there are times where I'm really getting maybe 4 or 5 hours sleep, but
Steve,
it's got to be done. It's got to be done. I can't teach my daughter as well to be reliant on mediocrity. You know, like, you have to shoot for the stars, sweetheart. And however, wherever you get, but you got to try. You got to, this life that we're living nowadays, the economy is high, the life expectancy is longer. You've got to put in the work. You've got to put in the hours. So going to university part-time, working full-time, running my own business, being a full-time mum. If I couldn't do it, I wouldn't do it. And so far, so good.
It's inspirational, you know.
It really is. It so is. And do you know what I think, based on what you said, even though you were trying to speak, Morty, I have to jump in, because honestly, everything you were saying, I was like, my head nearly dropped off my shoulders. But in all seriousness, I think that having a secure income can sometimes trick us into believing that what we have is enough.
100%.
And if you want more, you've got to work for it. You've got to put yourself out there. You've got to get up 5 hours after going to bed, even when you don't want to, even when you're really tired. You've got to do the degree with a full-time job. You've got to do all the stuff, because what you want is more important than what you have. And like, that's everything I heard in everything you were just saying, like, blown away.
Thank you. That is such a really good, like, way of culminating it all. Thank you, because I feel like sometimes people are like, oh my God, like, what about your child? What about this? What about that? And I'm just like, well, what am I teaching her? What am I teaching her? To just sit and just on her laurels and just be like, oh, okay, this is it. You know, it's weird because I feel like as well, there's a low expectation sometimes of women, and especially of single mothers. So I'm a single mom. I have no problem with that. Her dad is where he is. He's cool. I'm cool. We're all good. And I think there is a stigma attached to single mothers. And I'm not about to be a statistic. I'm not about to be what you think I should be. I am me, and I will always strive, always think of a plan A, B, and C for any situation. I think I could survive a bloody war. I do, but I'm that kind of person. I feel like I've had like 6 lives in one life.
Yeah,
and it's not for no apparent reason. I feel like in some sense it's set up for what I am in now, because for real, when I think about it sometimes now, I think, like, are you mad? But I'm doing it, so I'm happy.
I love that. I want to celebrate that, because there's a lot of steps you're taking. And I think anyone listening to that can take some inspiration from that, no matter what walk of life they're in. And I'm also going to slightly sidestep to you now, Shae, because also, I mean, people know a lot about what you do. I'm going to summarize. You do a few things as well. Like, obviously, you're writing. You've released the book Sunny Days, and you're actually working the new one. Is it Rainy Days coming out?
Yeah, okay. You know something about me, all right.
I told you read the book cover to cover, you know, both times. It's fine. Anyway, but literally, you know, she always laughs at that.
I have 3 books out. How many have you read?
2.5, because one of them's a short story.
I need to read them.
Huh?
I need to read.
Yeah, I got you. I'll send you.
Cool. But right now, also, to be fair, and also talking about business, obviously, similar to Linda, you're about to do CYG, Creative Genius. You mentioned it before.
No, so when she was talking about the fact that just before lockdown, she was meant to launch her stuff, I was like, I had the venue, I had everything to launch a new initiative. And it fell through because of I even lost my whole deposit, which was most of the money. I lost it all because of lockdown, because this is just the nature of, you know, the nature of what we were in was unprecedented. And so it is what it is, and that's fine. But also, as you were talking, I know you want me to talk about me, but I have to go back to Linda.
Okay.
As you were talking, I was like, yo, there's a space for Linda on my platform. There's a space for her. She was talking about doing this thing, and I'm gonna hit Linda up, and she can like do a like TED style talk and speak about her and all this stuff. And then you were like, but I need to spend time with my daughter, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, because the other thing is, I was just talking to my sister about this, right? And I don't want to take up your time because I know I've spoken for a little bit.
No, go.
My want to run a business as well was off of a dream, and it's called My Road to Oprah.
Okay.
And I'm saying to my sister, I'm gonna meet this woman one day because one, she saved my life, right? And two, she was my idol. She fell off a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, like I had to kind of look at her
sideways, little piece. Yeah.
Oprah. Yeah, you had to give Oprah the side out, like.
What made you give it a side? It's not a couple things.
Over the last few years.
I don't want to shade it because she's done fantastic things, and as I said, I'm not gonna lie, that woman saved my life, right? But my thing was like, how do I meet her, and what do I have to do to be able to meet her? That means I have to be amazing, and I want to be able to talk and tell people my story, and get to this amazing place where, you know, people are going to go, wow, like I want to be like her, or I want to speak to her, I want to talk to her. And it's not a big-headed thing. It's just that, as I said, I've had 6 lives in one lifetime. And even with my youth work, you know, like working with the kids that we work with, Dwayne, sometimes I look at them and I'm thinking, I was you one day, I'm not as bad, because trust me, my mum will bust my backside, but I know your chain of thought, and it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. You know, like, I just feel that as well as Black women, and as I said, as a single mom, people need to stop looking at us like we're not going to achieve, or we're sitting at home waiting for, you know, income support and them kind of foolishness. We are not. We are breaking barriers, especially Black women at the moment. We are breaking barriers. We are changing the way the world works. And we are not to be trifled with, not with regards to that we are intimidating. It's regards to, don't discount us. Don't discount us. Don't look at us and go, single mom, bloody woman.
So what I am is a creative consultant. I do that in every single thing I do, right? And I'm not just ignoring what you just said, I'm coming back to it. So what I am is a creative consultant. I'm a generalist, so I can do a lot of things well, and not that many people do have that ability. But I am able to do so much because I think that my gift, God, I believe in God, not everybody does, but whether you believe in God, the universe, Buddha, whatever it is, you believe that you have been gifted with something. And one of the things I think I've been gifted with is perception and vision, right? So I am able to see something and be like, this could be amazing. Whether it's my own project, someone else's project, whatever it is, this could be amazing. And I can see a route to making that thing happen. I'm not going to force anyone into it, but I'm going to support and do whatever. Another of the things I call myself is a story protector. So I tell stories, I listen to people's stories.
Story protector.
No, that's what I call myself, like, go on my LinkedIn. That's what I'm there to do. But also as a Black woman, living in the world we're living in at the moment and going through everything we're going through, I think I'm so aware, because Dwayne's going to roll his eyes, but because I am empathetic, like generally. Thank you. Because I am that person. I feel everything that we're going through so viscerally. And so again, as you're talking, when we watch this back, it's going to be crazy because you're going to see me cheesing so much, because so much of what you say relates to me. I've had so many 6 lifetimes in a lifetime, and not everyone does, and a lot of people won't be able to connect with what we're saying from that perspective. They'll be able to connect because it's everyone's story. Everyone's got a dream, regardless of whether it's just I want McDonald's tomorrow or whether it is I want to meet Oprah. We've all got this dream. But all of the things that I am and all of the things that I've created are not by accident. But also I have to look at how I fit into this world. So I'm not a single mother, but I am a Black woman who hasn't gone the traditional route into any of the careers or any of the rooms that I find myself in, whether it's boardrooms in an NHS or consultancy with, you know, EDI companies or whatever it is, being a foster carer, all of those things, I have to look at how I'm perceived as a Black woman. And it's a really tough world that we're living in at the moment. We have to be so aware of so much all the time, on top of being inspired, inspiring, striving for more, trying to inspire our children, our children's children, the people around us, the young people we work with, looking at our loved ones being killed. And when I'm saying loved ones, I'm not even talking about people we know. I'm talking about people who are the same hue as us being killed. Oh, sorry.
I'm going to pause you because you're jumping ahead, yeah? You're jumping ahead to one thing.
No, not even intentionally.
Okay. No. Oh, yeah, but the steps you've taken, because you're missing something. No, I'm not going to cut because I'm going to head to Science Any Queens today. Let you flow speak, yeah? Well, I'm just saying one quick
thing.
Let
me land.
No, wait. I'm saying to you, you said you've taken some deliberate steps, and you actually have taken a very deliberate step recently, which is obviously to do your MBA. To talk to me about what led you to that point.
This is what's so funny about it. So I'm doing my MBA full-time. In a year. I'm also working full time. I also have huge health issues full time. You know, all of the things. But again, it goes back to what we were saying before. I want what that can offer me way more than I want to stay in this mediocrity. I want the backup of being able to walk into a room and people, I'm used to going into rooms, and once people get to know what I can offer and my value, they go, oh, Shae's amazing. Let's get her in all the rooms. I don't want to have to work that hard for people to recognize me. I want to be able to use my MBA as a ticket to say, oh, she's got an MBA. And then they realize, oh, but also she's great. Right. And it's sad that we have to do that. It's sad that we need this thing to be able to deliver the same thing, because the MBA is not going to give me anything I don't already have. I know the stuff, right? I've built businesses. I've been running my own business. And the same year that I was diagnosed with cancer, 2010, I've been running my business since then. So it's not going to offer me that much more, but what it will do is get me in the room and allow not me to see my value in those rooms, but other people to recognize my value before I've even opened my mouth. And it's sad that we should have to feel like that or do that or live in the space.
I was going to say another thing, I guess, before, because I'm actually going to get onto more about experiences of Black women next. But my final question in terms of the steps you guys have taken in this section, I want to ask you this, because I'm going to get to that. Hold on to that thought about your voices, your experiences, and how you're perceived, because that's kind of comes in the next part.
I'm sorry. I guess
no.
Everything that I'm at the last few weeks, it's everything that I'm feeling, so it comes out in every conversation.
I know, it's okay. And I'm here for you in that.
Oh, Lord.
I can't try to empathize now.
No, be there.
No. I mean, on air, off air.
I just saw your vein popping.
No, I was like, lies. All these lies I have to put in board on air. I already care about you, fam. Now, anyway, we're going to say, but actually, one thing I'll say. So let me say this to you both, ladies. If you could see, and I'm going to say, I don't care, I'm going to specifically focus on little girls or younger versions of yourself. What would you say to anyone that will be listening that might be thinking, I might want to take this step, or I think this might be too much, or I'm a single mom, or I'm afraid, or I'm insecure, or not sure? What would you say to anyone who's like anyone out there that might be listening that's thinking about taking a potential next step to better themselves? What would you say to them?
Me personally, I would say to them something that I always say and something that is in my book. And if you've read the book, which you have many times,
3 times, go
3 times today, right?
Obviously, Queen, it's about you. You speak.
You're so annoying. I would say that people would either stretch your vision or choke your dream. And whatever it is,
bars. People will either stretch your vision or choke your dream.
You have not read the book.
No. I have. No, I'm just bring attention to other people who haven't read the book. You understand?
In that.
So annoying.
Love Jones, isn't it? Come in.
No. Honestly, I say that because do you know what I found? And I've been a person who has had, been insecure and had no direction and looked to other people for the reassurance that I should have been able to find. Somebody should have helped to build me up. The same thing you're doing with your daughter, Linda. But I would say if you've got a dream, don't allow anyone to talk you out of it. Surround yourself with people that also know how to dream. It doesn't mean they have to believe in your dream or see your vision. That's okay. It doesn't mean they have to be on the same path as you. They may have the security of a job. You may not, whatever it is. But do not allow yourself, your life, whatever it is, to be derailed, because the pandemic could have derailed so many of us, and it did. But there were also those of us for whom we kind of adapted and grew, and in fact, it gave us opportunities that we wouldn't have. We've lost so much, but we've also been able to find in the ashes something that we never would have found because we were comfortable in our mediocrity.
Okay, that's a nice thing.
I think people, and I think what I would tell anyone is, when you are comfortable, that comfortable or that comfort can lead you to a level of just sitting in the mire.
Okay.
Like, you know, like you can just be like, okay, can I afford that? Yeah. It's not too much of a stretch, whatever. It's comfortable. See, when you start dreaming bigger and you think, you know what, actually, I prefer to go on a holiday where I don't have to share a room. Or I prefer to go on a holiday where I can actually have some leg room on a plane. I prefer to go on 6 holidays instead of 2. Or I prefer to live in a different area. I prefer to drive a different car. I prefer to have peace of mind even. It doesn't even have to be about materialism. Sometimes it's about peace of mind. I don't have to rob Peter to pay Paul. Do you understand? It's about that. It's about the little things. What are my building blocks? If you have to keep thinking to yourself, right? My main thing regarding me stepping up or leveling up was peace.
I like that.
Too many situations where it was just like, "Raw, hold on a minute. I have to, I don't want that. I don't want that." Running my own business has given me a level of peace that really and truly, if this world were to go tits up, I'm still going to be okay because people still need to cream their skin.
I mean,
that caught me off guard. I can't lie.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Everyone needs to cream their skin. Not everyone makes a choice to.
Listen,
like everyone should.
Has to bathe.
Dry foot back is not the way forward. No, I hear that, but no.
Has to bathe. I could reduce the contents of the product and make it a lot cheaper, but you still need it. You still need it. You know, another thing I realized as well, and this was a big thing financially about our generational wealth, and we'll have that conversation on a whole different day because there is so much that has kept us in the position that we're in now. But my thing was about, how do I provide for me, provide for Layla, and provide for her child to be able to provide for their children? Yeah, I'm not about, and this is coming in a number of different ways, whether it be changing my insurance policy to, you know, as I said, running my own business, getting a different degree. What do I need to do? We need to be able to think on our feet as females, as Black people, to go, you know what? Actually, you're not going to box me in. You're not going to box me in. We are so adaptable. We are such the chameleon race. Yeah. We fit in wherever we go. It doesn't matter. And the same thing Shae saying about going into a room and being able to just stand on your own laurels. I don't come in as a, you know, the token or the stereotypical. I come in as me, and I want you to see me from the get-go. From I walk in the room, I want you to know. Because I mean business. When I used to work in the media, people used to be, but as soon as I started talking, I got to do my piece of my work. You know, I'm not here to be, it's not about being trifled with. Yeah? Too much has been taken away from us. Too much is spoken about us before we get in a room, and not necessarily in the best of ways. So I want you to know how I made you feel should help you to change your perception, and that should stay with you to enable you to say, right, who do I need to, oh shoot, you know what, remember Linda, remember Shae. One of the things that stood out for me regarding yourself, Dwayne, and we've had good times and bad times, is that it's about the way you make someone feel. Some people are not ready to receive that, but it's about the way you make people feel. I can do a number of things for you, but if I make you feel a certain way, it stays and it resonates with energy, whatever you want to call it, however you see it. Yeah. So next time you think of something, you will think of that person, and hopefully you will lock back into that.
I love that. I love that. I don't want to even say anything more than that. Queens are dropping gems today. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. It's truly called Queen Talk, and I know Shae loves that word as well.
You're
So,
welcome.
Shae,
Let's not go there. Let's not go there.
Okay, sorry, I'm joking. But no, cool. I have to have my best behavior today. I have to, because to be fair, it's just what Women's Day was on Monday, just gone. Was it Monday, just gone?
On the 8th.
Mother's Day was Sunday. Sorry, I did keep my mum something. I did. That doesn't no one cusses me. And but the week before was International Women's Day, so it's a good time to talk to you lot. So I'm gonna move forward a little bit, so everyone knows what's going on a little bit, because I want to talk to you a little bit about this. So let me just say this. It's not disclaimer, but put this out there first. So obviously, in the past week, unfortunately, Sarah Everard lost her life. Obviously, unfortunately murdered. We believe there's a suspect in custody. We believe it's this police officer. I think his name's Sutton Cousins or Sutton some brother in his 40s. We believe, yeah.
I don't care. No, I don't care what his name is.
Oh, okay, cool. Phew. Okay.
Okay, no, come on, you know me better than that.
Wow. I'm not editing that out. I'm leaving that in.
I'm not.
No.
It's not his name that we need to know.
No, it's what he represents. Yeah, so I get that. Yeah. So, obviously, so in terms of that has prompted a lot of conversation. In fact, to be fair, Shae, it was really not even funny, but ironic is that a little while ago we did a podcast on consent, and actually, there's a clip that I talked about the clip from about women on the bus and she felt uncomfortable and actually little things like that. And now fast forward to this, it's a conversation that has always had that, and a lot of things have come up from women in terms of their experiences and how they feel, and rightly so. So that's on its own, and it's unfortunate that happened. However, there's been another thing that's kind of broken out from this, which is a little bit difficult to kind of like, I'm choosing words carefully here, but a little bit difficult to comprehend or to like, kind of like stomach a little bit, is that it seems that one particular demographic gets a lot of attention, a lot of sympathy, and almost imminent action on things like this. Whereas I'm a demographic, let's be blunt, black women, let's be honest, aren't as protected or aren't as considered or anything's around. And I'm not trying to conflate the two issues. But however, when I see things like this, I'm like, when I see things like that,
I did not expect that video to end so quickly. My face was like,
yeah. When I see things like that, and then also I see the woman Preeti come out and in sympathy, when obviously we saw the contrast in the BLM movement, and the way that was received, and also the woman that came out. I didn't even find it. I didn't want to, but there's a woman coming out saying this is not Black Lives Matter. It's a sensitive issue. I'm not, and I said
Shabnam Chowdhury. I know her name.
Shabnam. Anyway, we're not talking about Shabnam. Anyway, yeah, like those issues, and then and the reason people say, but why shouldn't conflate the two issues? Why shouldn't compare the two issues? Okay, I'll tell you why I'm trying to compare the two issues, because this woman, fortunately young lady, she's a young woman, she's 21. Like, do you know what I mean? She even missing. In a similar fashion, and I'm listening, they're both victims. No one chooses to be in a position, but then again, we are seeing the different levels of energy that has been put towards both particular victims of murder, who are both unfortunate victims of murder, but the reception has been, well, different. Let's just be straight. It's been woefully different. Shae, you recently wrote an article the other day. It's up on Medium, it's up on LinkedIn. What's the article called, Shae? Silencing Black. Wow, the article you wrote, the one that I've actually read. Blood, really, blood.
One thing of mine you read.
Oh shit!
It's called "It's Time to Stop Silencing Black Voices."
All right, no. So it's time to stop silencing Black voices.
Yeah.
Tom, talk to me about how you feel about that. What was the thinking behind writing that?
This is how I feel when I start to think about how to express how I feel about this stuff. Mm-hmm. And I have to think about my words very carefully. Mm-hmm. Again, it goes back to that.
But can I challenge that? Can I challenge that a little bit? I'm gonna be, and listen, me.
I'm
feeling because listen, I'm losing my filter at the moment. And to be honest, I don't really care. Like, to me, it's always the same way. It's like we always have to deal with, like, when we have to talk about anything that deals with. Let's be blunt. Are people dying? Are people suffering? And I start appreciating that. I want to speak up about it. Why do we always have to pussyfoot? Like,
no.
I'm not saying you. I know what you're.
No, I know, but I just all I wanted to say is that actually I don't think that. Me thinking about this and do it is actually a me thing, rather than it being a black thing. This is just me. I mean, you'll know when we've had difficult conversations about other stuff, just generally, like where I've been like somebody's hurt me or whatever. I always take a moment about something that's so deep. I always have to take a moment, and even though I knew we were having this type of conversation today, It's very emotive. It's something that is so personal. It's something that is so real. And if it was me getting upset about my toothache, but I knew my toothache was going to end, fine. A bad pregnancy, 9 months, the baby's going to be here. I'll be okay again. As much as there has been progress in the sense that we aren't being strung up on trees, at least in most of the world, there is still so far to go, and we are still being maligned on a conscious and unconscious level every single day. And so I have to take a moment, because I'm a person who thinks about what they say anyway, and I don't want, it's less about me policing what I say and much more about me making sure everything I need to say comes across in this moment, right? I don't want to say, yeah, it really hurt me, and not bring in the why. Or, I want to make sure that on this really important issue, I'm saying everything. So it's much more about that. And I think that most people aren't like me, but also I don't think we all should be like that. I think some people need to speak from the fire in their belly and speak about how it makes them feel. Some people need to write. Some people need to do a lot more listening. It's just character and balance.
So what's your take then?
My take is that I feel... So the article basically talks about losing your voice. Quite a few years ago, I lost my voice, and losing my voice was a really terrible experience. I tried to speak and I couldn't, and the more I tried to speak, the more my voice was lost, and I could feel it going away.
Literally lost your voice?
I literally lost my voice. I had to miss my best friend's brother's wedding because I literally had no voice. I was that unwell at the time. And after a while, I realized that there was no point in me trying to force this voice out. It was gone. And so I just ended up silent, right? And I knew it would take time for my voice to return. In that moment, though, I was filled with panic and fear because I was no longer in control. If there was a fire, I couldn't scream fire. If there was, if I needed something urgently, if I was dying, there was nothing I could do. And I felt like I had no power, even though it was my voice. But our voices have so much power. This article basically speaks about that experience of have you ever lost your voice and what it means, but actually the fact that there are voices being lost all over the world. And as much as losing your physical voice is a physiological thing, losing your power, losing the voice as a people is systemic, and we have no power to bring that voice back. And people need to stop silencing us, whether consciously or unconsciously, whatever it is. I'm a person who uses a lot of analogies. And so I needed people to really get the point I was making without being defensive, like Sharon Osbourne was this week. And so that was the way that I felt I needed to express that. And it's had really good feedback. I've had lots of people contact me. But I'm not here for the clout. I'm here for you to get it and do better.
I like that. Linda, do you feel like, I know, what's your observation of everything, like I guess how you've seen it play out? Obviously I know you're sympathetic with Sarah and everything, but in terms of, I guess from perspective as a Black woman, what's your take?
Any loss of life is a tragedy. Yeah. Even down to the worst heinous of individuals, because they might not get justice in the way that they needed to get justice. But my problem with how we are looked after in the world, and I will say looked after, is that we're not. Even if you go back as far as, I know, God forbid, don't hang me now, the Madeleine McCann story, there was a little Black girl missing around the same time. Nobody heard of her. Nobody can even remember her name. Yeah? Fair enough, Blessing wasn't missing for a week. She was missing for, I think it was the next day her body was found. But again, what is it when they say they don't really know the cause of death? Even with Sarah, they've done two
unsuspicious.
Like, you don't know how Blessing died. You don't know what happened to her in between the time her talking to her mom, talking to her boyfriend, and then go missing. They're saying that she might have drowned, but her body wasn't found in the water. It was on the beach. Her stuff wasn't found, where her body was. So it's not like, oh, I fell over, I knocked my head, and You know, we're all good, but a missing person and an unsolved murder is a missing person and an unsolved murder. Why does it need to have the disparity of skin color for you to report one in one way and one in another way? It makes no sense. When we talk about silenced voices, I think the main reason why the George Floyd murder was so significant, and you know, regardless of the length of time that that man had his knee on that man's neck, every Black person around the world felt the silence and being silenced, because we are constantly being silenced. Don't talk about race, it makes this one uncomfortable. Don't talk about this because it makes that one uncomfortable. Don't use your vernacular because people don't understand you. Don't speak too loud because people are going to think, you know, you're attacking them, or you're being aggressive, or, you know, there's you're constantly silenced. You can't speak up in workplaces because people think you're aggressive. I'm not aggressive, I'm assertive. And I'm trying to get my point across just the same way that my girl might be trying to get her point across, but she is, you know, she's assertive in her action. Why do I have to play down how I naturally talk so that you can feel comfortable? But I feel uncomfortable every day. I feel uncomfortable every day.
And do you know what? I want to come into another point, because I think there's this one more thing I want to share with you guys. That I saw this tweet actually that this woman put, because I can imagine, like, I was trying to think through this 360s, like, and why you conflate the two issues, etc., about this and Sarah, and how does it? Because it's just about her individual, but it's not just about that. It's about the reaction to it, and I think this sums it up perfectly. So I put this up here. I said, I'm not gonna lie. So those people don't know NGO means, you know, I'm sure most of you do. Not gonna lie, it's painful watching white people protest. What was 2 days of protesting incite real conversations about police brutality, and the imagery to come out of it to be considered powerful enough to make points. I can't believe how much the entire world gaslights Black people. So really and truly, it's interesting to me that this is something that's been happening to our people in terms of police, just police brutality, for example, for one. Like, obviously this woman that got, I can't remember her name now, Sarah, no, not Sarah, that woman got arrested, and everyone's like, oh, the police have acted too, you know, overzealously and so forth. But you know, see how people get, how I've been treated past, or people who look like being treated in the past, but then that conversation is a completely different one. And it's just like, I think it's a slightly move on from so much to police brutality. I think I more want to focus a little bit more on how you feel as women in terms of being safe. I think, Linda, we mentioned something about a little bit earlier about why you sometimes haven't taken public transport. Do you mind sharing that, or like a little bit about that? Sometimes, you know,
So yeah. So I stopped taking public transport intentionally 20 years ago. And you know, as I said to Dwayne, it's like when my mum was leaving the country in 1995. My mum said, I don't know. I don't know how you want to take it how you want to take it, but I'm going to give you this box, and I want you to look after yourself, because I don't know why you attract all these weird people. Anywhere though, they're going to come. And I was just like, Mom, I'm so sorry. But I opened this shoebox and it had a lead kosh. Don't ask me where my mom found or got or bought a lead kosh, because they're actually illegal, but you know, we won't talk about that. And she gave me a pepper spray and a rape alarm and a whistle and a light, because she was not playing. She was just like, I don't know. And again, I think why I used to talk about my experiences and laugh, and I think it's only recently that I realized that's not funny.
Yeah,
it wasn't funny then, it's not funny now, and it's never funny. I think my first encounter with a flasher, I was 13 on the train coming home from school, and this man masturbated at me and was screaming his head off. And there were other people in the train carriage, not of my hue, and nobody helped me. And I was a child. Shaking like a leaf, got off the train, ran home, got off the train on completely wrong station as well, because I was just so scared. And I've had different variations of this until, as I said, my mum left the country. And I think what used to happen is, because lots of people, when I've spoken to them, is like, why didn't you do anything? Why didn't you report it? Why didn't you just... I think that first incident scarred me to the point of silence. And again, I speak about silence, and silence as a female and silence as a Black female is just a double whammy. And anytime it happened past that point, it would be the same thing. And you know me, I'm not a quiet person. I'm not a shrinking violet. I'm not gonna like try and assert myself in any situation. But when it comes to looking after myself, I will handle myself. And I've had to learn to talk through that silence and break that silence and say, do you know what? It is not okay for you to touch me when I don't want you to touch me. It is not okay for you to flash at me. It's not okay for you to wank at me. It's not okay. Even if I say to you as a guy, like, you say like, "Rah, you're sexy," and blah, blah, blah. Can you come at me in a better way than that? I really don't appreciate that. People sometimes, like, men are like, "Rah, you think you're too fucking nice, isn't it?" It's not that. If I was your child, if I was your sister, if I was your daughter, your auntie, I'm going to be like, "Rah, are you going to be okay with that?"
Yeah. I hear that. I mean, I'm going to send this question on, and Shae, feel free to chime in as well, because you kind of raised a good point there, Linda. Thank you for sharing your experience. Like, so obviously I'm a man, last time I checked, but like, listen, I'm a man, but what can we as men like do better? Like, so if you could say something to, like, obviously guys are willing to listen, and then maybe you could talk to our friends or whatever. Let me not even try to explain it. What do you think as a man we can do better?
I think sometimes it's about reading the room, right? And also understanding if someone spoke to my sister like this, my auntie, my niece, whatever, would I be okay if I was standing right next to her and my back was turned, no one knows I'm with her, and someone goes, "Yes, sweetness," or "Yes, darling," what? Oh, you're fresh, man. Look at my girl. She's a painting. Are you going to be okay? Are you going to be like, hey?
Yeah.
My sister, you know?
It's true.
From that light comes on in your head with regards to, actually, I wouldn't like somebody to speak to my sister. Like, don't do it.
You see, for me, I don't know that works with. There are too many men that doesn't work with, and I'm not saying it's not the right thing to do. It absolutely is. Put yourself in the shoes of. But I think too many men are able to compartmentalize the fact that, well, no, that's my sister, but like, I'm not trying to sleep with my sister. Like, it's a different thing. So they have a way to get around it. The better way that I have found to have this conversation in particular, and especially in a jovial way, because one of the things is that men can be quite defensive about it. And I get why, right? I saw a post and it was really pertinent, and it said something like, why are you lumping all men together? And the woman responded, well, it's not all men, but it is all women. And that is why the fact that it's too many men for us to not be able to lump things together. If I say, "Oh, mind the bed bugs don't bite," you're not going to say, "But it's not all bed bugs." You're just going to say, "Mind the bed bugs don't bite." And so in this instance, I think the way I've gotten around it is by saying, what if another man approached you like that? You wouldn't like it. So if a man's coming up to you, "Yo, you're fine though. Nah, big man things, don't do that." Suddenly your back is up. Suddenly you know that there's an imposition happening here and you don't appreciate that. And suddenly you're taken away, your power's been taken away, and you're all for the space between you. But when it's a woman, we've been brought up to believe, because when I was younger, going Wembley Market and thing, I thought that's how it was meant to be.
I did.
I was meant to help you.
Move to like that.
Yeah. And I was like, yo, so if you went down there and you didn't get hailed like that, it was like, oh, been a bad day. It's only as I got older, I was like, no, I don't want to be spoken to like that. And in fact, the type of guy that is hailing you in that way is not the kind of guy that I want to end up with anyway. It's just for the day. So I just think that it's not enough anymore, because men are so used to being not the butt of the joke, the kind of perpetrator. As black men, I feel it for them, because they are still the ones who, on a train, a woman, regardless of her race, will hold up their bag a bit tighter and that kind of thing. So when it comes to something that they actually do naturally, like, "Yo, baby, you look good," it's like, I don't mean no harm, and so it becomes a defensive thing. So we have to remove the us out of it, and we have to allow them a way for them to see it from their own perspective, because they're not able to do that. And that's not me belittling them. That's not me saying they're anti-intelligent. It's me saying, the same way that as a black person, our experience has been minimized, and it's really hard to see through the pain to get to educating you, we have to help you with that too.
I'm sorry.
I just want to say, I don't I feel like sometimes people dehumanize men in that situation. Oh, men are dogs and this and that. It's not a matter of that. It's not about. And I don't even want to, because the flip side of what you said, Shae, is that, you know, people won't get in a lift with a black male on their own, or they won't sit next to a black male on the train or the bus by themselves. Because I know what it feels like to be the other side of that and to be the subject, I don't subject them to that. If I see a black man train by themselves, well, as I said, I don't get public transport, but when I did, I would sit next to them. I would get in the lift, as long as I'm not in a position where I feel threatened or I feel in danger. You know, I'm not going to do that because I know what it feels like. Or like when somebody, you know, walks past you and they put their bag on the other side, or I'm not going to do that. But I feel like men need to have that emotional intelligence. Yeah, to be like, we're in a different time now as well. Like, it's time to retire that level of thinking as well. Yeah. Step up. If we are, I know that sometimes people say, oh, women are a little bit more mature than them. Come on, man. Get to a position where we're teaching our sons about emotional intelligence, where we're teaching our daughters about emotional intelligence. I don't want to be treated in a certain way, and I don't want to treat a man in that way as well. The same way I don't want you to feel that I'm scared of you, I don't want you to make me feel fearful.
In response to your question, Dwayne, so with everything you just said makes complete sense. And in relation to that, and in response to your question, what can men do? I don't think it's your responsibility. So please, anyone listening to this who is a man, do not take me saying that this is what you must do. You ask what men can do. If you so choose, some of the things you can do is offer some sort of reassurance. So if you're in a situation where somebody is so if it's me and you, it doesn't have to be a white woman, it doesn't have to be a Karen. If you're in a situation where we're both walking down the street and it's late at night, my automatic reaction as a woman is going to be I don't care who you are, you could be another woman, I'm still going to be a bit more vulnerable.
Oh, no, of course.
If you are in that situation and there's nothing you can do about it, what I would do is go on the phone. Make sure that your actions do not like perpetuate that need for vulnerability. You know, it's just about thinking of that person, and it's exhausting to have to do that. But again, that's why I said it shouldn't be your responsibility, but making sure that we're starting to change the narrative. So when you are in the lift, just saying, hi, how are you? You okay? Okay, good. Let them hear your tone of voice. Whatever it is that has to be done. And do you know what? It's so dumb. I even as I'm hearing myself say it.
It's not dumb.
No, because even as I'm hearing myself say it, I'm thinking about what we have to do as black people, code switching to make white people feel better. And it's the same thing I'm asking men to do. It's like...
But you know what? I think I'll come in here. I understand what you're saying, and I get it, but I also agree that if, to be honest with you, if like it's my mentality, if I know I can, like, look, I'm a 6-foot guy, like if I'm coming like my hoodied up and whatever, walking around this late at night, I'm like, I'm not stupid, like, because the same one as someone's gonna ramp with me, saying someone will be fearful of me. They don't know me that I skin tea all day, innit? But at the same time, I understand that when I will go and train, I can't lie. I just hold my phone, look and sleep. I don't make eye contact. And even if I was to be rude, this happened, but even if I was to see a sweet one on the train, God bless them. I'm not gonna mention them on here, but no, but for real, I was on the phone. I'm like, all right, cool. It's late at night. It's after everyone come home. So what I do is I put a message on my phone. I drop it in the chair in front of her. She wants to take my number, if not, she said either way. But and then I leave the power with her and walk off in it. Like even to that ways. Real talk. Listen, all right, but it doesn't matter because it's nothing wrong with approaching somebody. It's about how you do things, like, so you don't feel threatened and that. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. I can make somebody feel less comfortable and less fearful. And I know what you mean in terms of not having to shrink yourself in terms of, but I think the racial element is different to just general female safety. I haven't got a problem with that. Because at the end of the day, you can feel at risk when there's racial undertones. My energy might change a little piece, but I can't lie. You know, as a black man, white women in the middle of the night are dangerous.
Remember you got in the lift with a certain older white man, Dwayne. Put a pin in it.
What did you know? I can't. Yeah. Hold on. What happened? What did they say again? I forgot. What did they say? Because I know you with me. Like that was a bit. Was it? It was quite a senior person in. Oh yeah. Okay. Cool.
A very older white man who should know better.
Yeah.
With Dwayne and myself, and said, "Oh, I don't know if I'm safe in here with you two."
Yeah. Just remember that.
At work, and I said, "Well, in light of the Me Too movement, I don't know if I'm safe in here with you two."
Okay.
And like,
oh wow, I remember that. That was bad. I forgot about that. I was like,
but isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy that you had to come back with a cheeky quip in order to not be offended? But because if you were offended, it would have been like, oh, it wasn't meant like
100%, 100%. And that's another thing that I keep the silencing.
Yeah,
silencing. And I feel like that is why, again, like you're saying, I have to pause sometimes. You have to pause sometimes because I'm telling you, we could cry all day long.
Yeah.
Like people don't see it. It's like the other day I must have been in the park with some of my daughter's friends' mums after the Meghan Markle interview. And I thought, you know what? I'm not even going to get into it. I'm not. Do you know why? Because from your comments, I know you can't hear me.
What did they say?
And I know it's not worth me talking about this. I said, sweetheart, you ready? Let's go.
What kind of comments were they making though? What are they saying? Does that have interest?
So one mother said, she's such a good actress.
Wow.
She's such a good actress. She's a gold digger. Somebody else said that she lives in a palatial pad. What could she moan about? I think the only thing I did say is that since when did money bring you happiness? I don't know.
Oh, wow.
It's funny because I wrote another article today for a company that I do some work for, equality, diversity, inclusion, and it's around all of that. It's around the fact that this rich, pretty, very beautiful mixed race princess could come in, still be disbelieved, but yet still have her voice silenced. Like it's ludicrous that we can't even. We still have to prove ourselves. And there was a post. I hope. Let me see if I can find it. There was a post today, and I read it, and it stayed with me for a while. I think I may have.
But this goes. When you look for this, goes on to amplify my point further. Is that this is why I feel, whilst again I'm not trying to conflate the two issues, because someone else asked about this, like the DMs about the Sarah thing, but it just goes another example to show how action is swift act for one group of people, and it's almost silent for another. And all I want. What I always say, keep the same energy across the board.
Keep that same energy. Keep that same energy.
Yeah. So,
I found it. I found it. So it's a Toni Morrison quote.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. It says I'll start again. The very serious function of racism is distraction. It keeps you from doing your work. It keeps you explaining over and over again your reason for being. Someone says you have no language, so you spend 20 years proving that you do. Someone says your head isn't shaped properly, so you have scientists working on the fact that it is. Someone says you have no art, so you dredge that up. Someone says you have no kingdoms, so you dredge that up. None of that is necessary. There will always be one more thing. And that is like, it sat with me because I was like, it's so true. We're like, no, let me prove to you that I'm worth something and that I can have a voice. But one of the narratives right now that's really, really peeing me off, and it comes from other Black people, is the people who are obviously exhausted and who are saying, I just can't. So they might type it, I just can't right now. I can't on this topic. I can't talk about Harry and Meghan anymore. And there are people who are like, no, you must speak up. You have to do everything. No, I think that actually, no, you absolutely do not. You have to think about your mental health. We all have to think about what we have capacity for in this moment. Otherwise, we're going to be burnt out and there will be no one to fight the fight. We need to tag team each other in. When I've taken my rest, I will then step back up and I will allow you to rest. There are enough of us that the work can still be done if we are all in the same accord. I don't think we all should have to speak up and fight the fight. It's the same as being a token. I was speaking about this on a conference today. Tokenism is good and bad, and it's never good, but it's good for the fact that it will get you in the room. But it also relies on my ability to be a disruptor. It relies on my capacity to speak up once I'm in the room. That is not okay, and that relies on people who have you in the room to want to hear what you have to say. That is exhausting. Sometimes we just need to go a different route, and sometimes that different route is just taking a moment. You know, it's so much, and it's not going to end. Like I said, it's. I know we've moved on, but we're nowhere near.
It's so much. It is so much. I feel like when this whole thing started last year, even when I went to the BLM march, you know, people were like, COVID this and COVID that. Where was COVID yesterday during the march for Sarah? Sorry, I'm just saying.
No, it's true, but this is the point. I'm saying
the police came in, and the police felt that, you know, you're breaking the law and this is why we're so heavy-handed, blah, 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 blah. That was the only thing, right? But in all of that situation, there became a point where the majority of Black people, I'm exhausted.
Yep.
I'm exhausted, but I'm also very aware of how long I've been silenced. So I need to speak, but it's true what you're saying, Shae, in that give thought to your mental health, because there came a time, even like as a family, you know, my family's Black, mixed, biracial, that we had to speak up as a family and really like, how are you? Are you okay? Because obviously we're in lockdown and all race rights is going on, blah, blah, blah. And we had a huge family check-in online. And I'm telling you, the emotion and the tears, and even having to speak to our white family counterparts about things that we've even protected them from. You know, it's nuts. It's nuts. And that is just, I don't even, it's too much to even go into why I feel where that's come from. But I feel there's a time to talk up and there's a time to be silent. And on Friday, it was a time to be silent. I've got no time to educate you lot. You have no interest in my world. I know that already.
You can't educate someone who's educated. You can't.
It's literally like speaking into an empty bottle. It's not going to go nowhere. I'll catch you later. Baby, okay? Let's go.
The key difference is there's a time to be silent. Being silent is my choice. Being silenced is not my choice. And Oprah made a really good point when she did that in the interview, because the difference in all of this is about our capacity to choose, and our choices keep being taken away.
Do you know what? I can't even sum that up better than you ladies have done just now. So I'm going to probably put a pause in the conversation there, because there's some really powerful thing. Thank you both so much for your time today, queens. Linda, tell them where they can find you again. They can find beautiful products like this. Come on. You know, where can they find them? Where can they find you? Where can they find you?
It's Bespoke Beauty Organics, and the website is www.bespokebeautyorganics. The Instagram is the same, and the Facebook page is the same. Twitter, I tweet under my name, which is L Albert. But yeah, look out for me. Try a product or two.
Definitely, I highly recommend. I'll have you back on again. Looking forward to that. Definitely. And Shae, where can we listen? Where can you find the last two articles? Because I think they're good reads. So where are they?
So you can find one of them on the Versity blog. So if you go to Versity, VERSITI.co, and then go to Thinking, it literally was uploaded today. And then the other one, which is the one about silencing Black voices, that's on my LinkedIn. So just go to LinkedIn, type my name in, Shae Eccleston, and you will find the article. It's also on Medium, so you can search it there as well. Yeah, but also, guys, I mean, nothing to do with anything, but do check out curatedgenius.com, because big things are about to happen. So.
Big things are going, isn't it?
I need to hear about this. I will be calling you,
and I will be hitting you up.
You two being friends. It's time for me to take medication. Thank you again, ladies, for joining me today, and look forward to maybe having you back again soon. Take care of yourselves. Good night.
Peace. Thank you. Bye.